After breaking up, my ex-girlfriend became a top celebrity, and I secretly attended her concert, only to be discovered. She thought I regretted it, mocked me, but that night, I attempted suicide. I never expected the concert's cameras to catch me, and when my face was projected on the big screen, Lunar's voice noticeably faltered. After the concert, my phone received a text message. Regret it now? I stared at the familiar number for a while but didn't reply. I placed the phone back into my coat pocket. The message notification sounded twice more. Not long ago, you said you'd never be interested in someone like me, right, Tom? It's too late for regrets now. I can't be interested in someone so vain. I still didn't respond. Much later, my phone chimed again. A message from Lunar. Stop peeking into my life like a fan. I hadn't booked a hotel, so I traveled back from Lunar's concert venue using various modes of transportation. It took 9 hours and 13 minutes. So, after exactly 9 hours and 13 minutes, Lunar received my text. Lunar, your future is bright. After successfully sending the message, I ingested a pile of colorful pills with a piece of cake. I didn't succeed in my suicide attempt. My neighbor, who came over to borrow some salt, found me and rushed me to the hospital. I hadn't set an emergency contact, and my contacts didn't include any family members like dad or mom. The hospital had no choice but to call the most recent contact in my phone, Lunar. When I woke up, Lunar was sitting beside me, still wearing the clothes from the concert. Her makeup was only partially removed, a stark contrast to the sterile hospital room. Seeing me open my eyes, Lunar spoke. Awake? I asked, why are you here? Lunar crossed her arms and looked at me as if she already knew everything. Don't pretend, Tom. Didn't the hospital call me? I lowered my gaze. I didn't. She sighed and leaned closer. Clearly, there are so many family members, relatives, and friends you could have called. Why did the hospital choose to call your ex-girlfriend you haven't spoken to in 3 years? Faking a suicide like this is just pathetic. Even if you regret it now that I'm successful, you could have chosen a more sophisticated way to reconcile. Maybe I would have given you another chance, but this way, I can only look down on you more. Lunar's words struck me like a hammer, and I felt a pang in my heart. I couldn't find any words to defend myself. She stood up from the chair, no longer wanting to look at me. Next time you attempt something like this, choose a cleaner method. Taking sleeping pills, for example, can only scare people, but it won't kill you. Lunar left without another word. I buried half of my face in the pillow, finally managing to utter one defense. It wasn't sleeping pills. What kind of pills were they? I didn't know myself. I only knew that sleeping pills were hard to obtain, and even if I had, the dosage wouldn't have been lethal. So, I picked some cheap, assorted pills without much thought. On my way back from watching Lunar's concert, I even bought myself a delicate cake for the first time in over 20 years. The pills were too bitter, and I needed something sweet. But that night, I returned home late, and the dessert shop only had one chocolate-flavored cake left, which wasn't sweet at all. My not-so-long life seemed to have ended without a taste of sweetness. Lunar was caught on camera at the hospital while I was there, and I was portrayed as her rumored boyfriend. Since it happened at a hospital, there were photos of me undergoing gastric lavage, and people started speculating and spreading rumors online, with some fans and haters even suggesting that I faked a suicide attempt to get her attention. Overnight, Lunar went from being their national sweetheart, and the one that got away, to a hated woman with a declining fan base. I looked at the trending keywords, realizing the mess I had created, and dialed Lunar's number on my phone. After a long ring, she finally picked up. What's up? Her voice sounded hoarse, probably from a sleepless night. I clenched my phone and said, I messed up. Lunar, what can I do to clarify things? I'll cooperate. She chuckled on the other end, not answering my question, but instead asking, Tom, are you calling because you feel guilty for causing trouble for me? What else could it be? Was I calling because I was worried about her? Scared? I couldn't articulate it. After a long silence, Lunar finally sighed. Clearing things up won't be as simple as you think. Wait for my team's instructions. But Tom, remember, this is your doing, so no matter what happens, you have to cooperate, even if it means. Means what? I asked. On the other end of the line, Lunar hesitated for a moment. Forget it. Just stay in touch. Send me a message every half hour. What if you run away? I'll have no one to cry to. I set an alarm and messaged Lunar every half hour. Sometimes it was a random picture, sometimes a punctuation mark, sometimes an emoji, but most of the time, it was just me asking about the progress of the situation. Lunar never replied to me directly. She only sent a warning when I repeatedly asked about the situation. If you ask the same question again, you might as well video call me every half hour. I had no choice but to find topics to message her about relentlessly. Occasionally, when I stumbled upon something Lunar found interesting, she would respond with a few words out of pity. I knew that Lunar wasn't doing this because she was afraid I would run away, but because she was afraid I might attempt suicide again. She couldn't be with me physically, so she used this clumsy method to keep an eye on me. But I closed my eyes, and the auditory hallucinations were getting worse. The voices in my head were chaotic, and it felt like my head was about to explode. But, Lunar, I'm trying so hard to eat something, yet I always end up vomiting. I've tried many methods, but I can't seem to get a good night's sleep. I always feel anxious, fearful, and sad. Lunar, it seems like all the longing, guilt, and hope I have for you can no longer sustain me. It's too painful, really. Every minute, every second is excruciating, and even eating sweets doesn't help. Lunar's manager, Jerry, came to see me. He had gained some weight compared to 3 years ago, and his beer belly was more noticeable. I heard that she got married and has an adorable daughter now. Tom. Jerry placed a bag full of cash on the table and sat down casually in front of me. Why do you always manage to get into such big trouble? I handed him a glass of water and chuckled self-deprecatingly. I guess it's some kind of unique talent. Jerry ignored my joke and poured the cash out of the bag onto the table. This situation is a bit complicated. Since you attended Lunar's concert before your suicide attempt, and the hospital directly called Lunar when you had the accident, simply clarifying that you and Lunar are just friends won't be enough. Fans and netizens won't buy it, and they might continue to blame Lunar, saying she's evading responsibility. That would only make things worse. I looked at the stack of bills on the table and asked, "So, what do you propose we do to resolve this?" Jerry leaned forward, folding his hands. Someone has already dug up your past relationship with Lunar, so to protect Lunar's reputation, we have to say that after you two peacefully broke up, you felt bitter and threatened suicide. Lunar showed up at the hospital to save you. Jerry paused for a moment and continued, "But, Tom, you need to understand, I'm a businessman, and I know that some things require an exchange of value. So, name your price. If this isn't enough, I can get more. However, Tom, you should remember that 3 years ago, you almost destroyed Lunar's career once. She went through a lot to get to where she is now, and she shouldn't be ruined a second time because of you." Jerry left, leaving behind a substantial amount of money that would last me a long time. I agreed to cooperate with the clarification and told everyone that I felt bitter and threatened suicide after our peaceful breakup. Although I was bombarded with criticism as soon as I clarified things, I didn't feel wronged. After all, this situation was indeed my fault, and Lunar was unjustly dragged into it. Moreover, I couldn't afford to die now, even if it was for her. I had to endure a bit longer. I looked at a photo of Lunar and me hidden behind my phone case and smiled. Finally, I had found a reason to keep on living. Lunar and I had parted ways peacefully. That's what I believed, but Lunar always said that I dumped her. I didn't like the word, dumped. It made it seem like we had to rank our relationship as if it were a matter of superiority and inferiority. In my heart, she was always an amazing presence, never someone lower in any relationship. I felt that we weren't compatible, so I told her, "Lunar, let's not do this anymore." What did Lunar say at that time? She said over the phone, "Tom, when you don't want to talk about a certain topic, you should say, let's not talk about it, instead of, let's not do this. How come you, a journalism major, have worse language skills than me?" I remained silent for a moment and said, "Lunar, what I mean is, let's not be in a relationship anymore. Do you want to get married? That's fine too, but you haven't proposed yet, and I haven't even picked out a nice ring for myself. Lunar, I know you understood. Let's break up, and let's not contact each other anymore." Everyone thought I was acting foolishly, passing up the opportunity to be with the perfect goddess Lunar. Instead, I chose to break up. Why? Were we filming an idol drama? Was it one of those scenarios where we had to separate forcibly, and she would run while I chased her? When we were together, Lunar was already making a name for herself in the entertainment industry. With excellent singing and dancing skills and stunning looks, her career was on the rise. But I gave her trouble during a crucial period in her career. A lot of money was spent on her side to suppress the situation. When Lunar's agent, Jerry, found me after the incident, he told me that my mother didn't owe that man any money. It was a malicious attempt to extort money from her. However, they had no evidence, so the only way to clear things up was for my mother to admit personally that she had no financial ties to that man. Jerry looked up at me and added, "Furthermore, if you and Lunar aren't in a romantic relationship, then in this matter, she's just an onlooker who tried to help someone in need." I understood Jerry's words perfectly. Lunar had a bright future ahead, and it was almost ruined because of me. That night, I told Lunar, "Lunar, we should break up." After the breakup, I went to see my mother to convince her to clarify the situation. However, she scolded me fiercely, blaming me for not informing her about my wealthy girlfriend and for letting her live in poverty. I learned that my mother was aware of everything that man had done, including the idea of exposing the situation to manipulate public opinion, all in an attempt to extort money from Lunar. She said, "If you want me to clarify things, fine. Aren't you two together? Tell Lunar to give me 10 million. 5 million is for clearing things up, and the other 5 million is the reward for raising you all these years. I gave my son to her, and she's so rich. What's wrong with giving me some child support?" That night, after being kicked out by my mother, I walked alone in the direction of my home. The late autumn night was cold, and I was shivering. 10 million? After nearly ruining Lunar's future, did I have the audacity to ask her for 10 million? That evening, Lunar returned by plane. When she arrived, I was at the hospital, keeping my father, who had been in a vegetative state for 3 years, company. Lunar found me, and as she looked at my father lying in the hospital bed, she asked with concern, "Is it because of my mother? What's this about asking for 5 million to leave my daughter alone?" I felt embarrassed, realizing that Lunar had seen through the situation. I said, "Lunar, as you can see, we live in different worlds. Being in a relationship with someone like you is exhausting for me. I'm always cautious, afraid of revealing our relationship to others, worried that it might have a negative impact on you. I can't even contact you regularly because it might affect your work. I have to make every effort to get closer to you, to avoid people thinking I'm just a freeloading pretty boy. It's exhausting. Lunar, do you understand? Every day is too exhausting. I don't want to live like this. I just want to live a simple and peaceful life. So, Lunar, can you understand? You can't give up your career and your dreams. Even if you did, you're still a wealthy heiress with a significant gap between us. I want simplicity, something we can never achieve together. I don't want to drag you out of your comfortable life to suffer with me. Shine your light, Lunar, and don't come down to my level." In the hospital room, Lunar remained silent for a long time. I clutched the corner of the bedsheet, trying hard not to cry. After what felt like an eternity, Lunar finally spoke, her voice filled with sadness. "Tom, why do you want to commit suicide?" I lifted my head from the hazy steam and looked into Lunar's eyes, which couldn't hide her emotions. I replied, "Lunar, give me a cake, and I'll tell you after eating it. Make sure it's sweet." But that night, we didn't get to have dinner together, and I didn't taste the cake Lunar had bought. I originally thought that the online criticism was just harsh words, and as long as I stayed home, Lunar's fans couldn't do much to me. However, I had underestimated the power of Lunar's fanbase. One evening, while Lunar was out buying a cake, someone threw a stone through my window. It was followed by pebbles, red paint, rotten vegetables, and more. I lived on the ground floor, and these objects easily reached me through the broken window. They yelled insults at me from outside, and I quietly watched in the direction they came from. I saw Lunar coming towards my place, but suddenly, Jerry and another person who appeared to be an assistant rushed out to stop her. In the struggle, Lunar dropped something on the ground. It was too far away for me to see clearly, but I knew that I wouldn't be able to eat that cake. Outside, it was chaotic. Security guards came and drove the fans away. Many residents came out to watch the commotion, and the flashes from their phone cameras were blinding. I turned away, sitting in the shadow behind the sofa, unable to hear the outside noise. I just felt exhausted. In the following days, I didn't see Lunar again. Instead, Jerry and a large check came to visit me. "What's this?" I gestured to the check on Jerry's side. "You never mentioned any final payment." "It's not a final payment," Jerry said. "I hope you can take this money and start a new life elsewhere. Tom, please don't contact Lunar anymore, okay?" I wasn't sure, but I sensed a hint of pleading in Jerry's tone. After a moment of silence, I lightly tapped my fingers on the check and smiled. "Okay, I promise. But I also promised Lunar that after eating her cake, I would tell her a secret. Since I know you won't let me see her, can you give her a note for me?" Yes, I had actually eaten her cake that day. Although it had fallen on the ground and the beautiful decoration was ruined, the packaging was intact, so I picked it up. It was a small cake covered in cream with fresh fruit and jam. I had eaten the entire thing that day, and surprisingly, I didn't feel nauseous afterward. I wondered if Lunar had secretly added something special to it. So, since I had eaten her cake, I had to fulfill my promise. Originally, I had thought about calling or messaging her, but Jerry explained that Lunar wasn't in a calm state of mind. She might do something irreversible. So they had temporarily taken control of Lunar's phone, as well as her social media accounts, including WeChat and Weibo. So, I could only communicate through a handwritten note. I didn't have any envelopes at home, so I struggled to find a red packet in a drawer and stuffed the note inside it. I couldn't help but laugh at how it resembled something out of a period drama where secret messages were exchanged by carrier pigeons. Jerry explained that he needed to check the contents of the note before giving it to Lunar. I reluctantly complied. After I deleted all of Lunar's contact information, including her phone number and social media accounts, Jerry finally left. I didn't understand why he was so cautious about me, even though I had nearly ruined Lunar's life twice. Correction. If Lunar hadn't been intercepted that night and had clashed with the fans instead, it would have been 3 times. Well, as Lunar's manager, it was reasonable for Jerry to be wary of me, the troublemaker who always caused problems that he had to clean up. Jerry's concern was that my address was now exposed, and the crazy fans might come looking for me. For the sake of my safety and Lunar's career, he suggested I leave the city the next day, with a small suitcase in tow. I spent a long time at the airport, unsure of where to go. Since that was the case, I decided to go back home. So, just a month after fleeing the city, I returned once again. I was afraid that my mother would cause trouble for me if she found out I was back due to those online comments. So, I didn't go home, nor did I let anyone know about my return. I rented a decent place with the money Jerry had given me, and my daily routine consisted of trying to coax myself to sleep, coax myself to eat, coax myself to go out for a walk, and coax myself to survive for the next 100 days. My life was a pale and difficult countdown I had set for myself, one day at a time. Because of those comments, I stayed away from the internet for a long time. I had no one to contact and nothing to worry about. Even my phone became an optional accessory. One day, out of sheer boredom, I opened my phone and saw some gossip about Lunar's love life. Paparazzi had captured Lunar with a rising male star having dinner together, shopping, and even wearing matching couple outfits, suggesting they were in a romantic relationship. Their male star was from Lunar's own agency, and they had a senior-junior relationship. This news spread like wildfire on Weibo, with the hashtag trending for 3 days. People were speculating that if Lunar hadn't come forward to clarify the situation after so long, it was essentially an admission. I stared at the watermarked photos on my phone screen for a long time, feeling a complex mix of emotions. Was I sad? But I had initiated the breakup, and it had been a long time. She deserved to have a new relationship. Was I unwilling? I had never made any effort to be with her, not even to survive for her. So why be unwilling? My emotions surged, and I couldn't sleep that night. It was only as dawn approached that I fell into a restless slumber. In my dream, I was in a relationship with Lunar, and we were out for a late-night walk. We lay on a park bench, gazing at the stars. The sounds of cicadas and various nameless insects filled the air. Lunar suddenly asked me, "Tom, what am I to you?" I thought for a moment, then pointed to the sky. "A star." "Why a star? It's not because I'm a celebrity, is it?" "Of course not," I replied. "Because you sparkle." I drew out the word, exaggerating it dramatically by waving my arms in the air. "You flash into my life, then disappear in a flash." Lunar was incredibly busy when she first debuted, and our time together was scarce. Despite her packed schedule, she always managed to find moments to see me. However, each meeting was short, just like this one. As she was leaving at dawn, Lunar's gaze held a touch of sadness as she said, "I'm sorry, Tom. Once I finish this busy period, we can go on a trip. How about Paris? Or Denmark?" During that time, we were filled with hope for the future. However, as Lunar's fame grew, and her schedule became busier, we became increasingly cautious about our relationship, fearing it might be exposed. Our promise to travel together became something we both couldn't muster the energy to fulfill. "Tom, it's getting late, and I have to go," Lunar said. Lunar left, waving at me. I watched her walk into the bright light and join a young, handsome man without looking back. I woke up with tears on my pillow. The following days passed in a daze, and I had completely lost track of time. Each day, I numbly marked an X on my calendar, counting down the 100 days. 3 days before the end of my countdown, Lunar found me. I didn't know how she managed to locate me in this vast city, considering we had no contact whatsoever. But the day I saw her, she looked disheveled. "Tom," her eyes were red. "Shall we go to the hospital?" I shook my head. "No, the medicine tastes terrible. The electroshock therapy hurts, and I don't want to chat with the psychologist. She's boring." Tears welled up in Lunar's eyes, and I hesitated before grabbing a tissue from the table. I extended it to her. "I'm sorry, Tom. I only just realized now. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. How would you have known if I didn't tell you? You're not a psychologist." Lunar didn't acknowledge my attempt at humor. She wiped away her tears and looked at me. "Then, let's go on a trip. What do you think? Denmark, Nepal, or Malaysia? You can choose wherever you want. Can we go together?" I still shook my head. "Lunar, you shouldn't go on a trip with me. It's unfair to your boyfriend, and you shouldn't have come looking for me." "That's not true," Lunar explained. "I don't have a boyfriend." "What?" I was taken aback. Lunar told me that her supposed romantic relationship had been a deal she struck with Jerry, her manager, to terminate her contract with the previous agency and get the letter I had written. "After losing contact with you, I figured Jerry had something to do with it. He used the contract termination and the letter as leverage, demanding that I boost the popularity of their new artist before leaving. I had no choice but to agree." Lunar had terminated her contract with her previous agency, but it had cost her a significant sum of money. She cleared up everything that had happened between us, but the situation was too complicated devastated. Combined with the previous scandal with the rising male star, people in the industry and her fans were still skeptical, thinking it was all a mess, especially the way relationships worked in this industry. Luna herself believed she was not a good person, so she was back on her career track, and my slate was finally wiped clean. However, I was unaware of these details, and honestly, I had lost interest in knowing. After all I had been through, Luna was no longer a reason for me to stay. Yet, I couldn't bear to make her sad in the last few days, so when she stubbornly stayed by my side, I didn't object. Those were 3 unforgettable days in my life, simple but filled with happiness. We finally had the chance to sit down and finish the dinner we hadn't had that night. However, this time, the one criticizing the food was me. Luna, this is way too salty. Did you accidentally pour the entire salt shaker in? Come on, who put sesame oil in egg drop soup? I need it to be extra spicy, like it's burning my throat, you know? This fish looks so unappetizing. It probably doesn't taste good. We ate many cakes, trying all the different flavors. Luna, who always talked about maintaining her figure, ended up eating so much that I wondered if she was doubting her life choices. I couldn't help but laugh without any restraint. We intentionally took the stairs instead of the elevator and climbed all the way up to the 23rd floor to watch the stars. The winter night was freezing, and Luna and I wrapped ourselves tightly in a blanket, huddling together. We chatted about many things, from the neighbor's dog to the old lady next door with her flowers, to the upstairs kids' holiday homework, to the old man at the market with his wig. Tom, do you know what you mean to me? Luna suddenly asked. What? I followed Luna's gaze, looking in the same direction. A sunrise. I smiled. Why a sunrise? Luna tugged at the corner of the blanket and continued, because before dawn, that's the last thing stars have. I fell silent for a long time, without saying a word. The wind on the rooftop was still fierce, and the winter night was bone-chilling. Luna and I huddled together under the blanket, feeling only the slight warmth where our shoulders touched. Stars or sunrises, whatever it may be. Look, Luna, the day is breaking. Epilogue, Luna's perspective. It took a long time for the storm surrounding the concert incident to finally settle down, and I managed to terminate my contract with the entertainment company successfully. Jerry, surprisingly, kept his promise and handed me Tom's letter before our paths diverged. On that day, Jerry told me, Luna, there are no real feelings in the entertainment industry. There's only the future and stardom. You're too emotional. If we hadn't terminated the contract, I'd never let you see this. You need to understand that. I wasn't sure if my decision to terminate the contract was the right one. However, during the days when I was almost completely disconnected from the outside world, there was a profound emptiness within me. It was a suffocating feeling that made it hard for me to breathe. Later, I found out that it was because Tom was no longer in this world. 3 years later, I met Tom's mother once again. She had aged a bit, and her carefully applied makeup couldn't conceal the signs of aging on her face. She had a cigarette dangling from her mouth, almost burnt out, and she pointed to a corner in the shadows. His ashes are there. You can take them if you want. I don't have the money to buy him a grave. If you had come a day later, I would have thrown them into the river. I don't know how I managed to walk into that cold, damp place with walls crawling with cockroaches, but I felt tears blur my vision, covering my face in an instant. Tom, you must be cold here. Don't be afraid. I'll take you to a warm place, and you'll never be cold again. On the first day of November, in the middle of winter, the snow fell heavily, covering everything in a blanket of white. Tom had a dream. He dreamt of sitting on a rooftop under a warm blanket with the only girl he had ever truly liked, free from the chilling wind. The girl's shoulder was pressed against his, providing intense warmth. She said, Tom, a sunrise is the only thing stars have before the dawn. But you belong in a place filled with light, a place where the dawn breaks. I can't be there. It's too cold for me here. Epilogue 2, a letter in a red envelope. Dear, manually blanked name, Luna. I managed to eat the cake you mentioned that day. It was sweet, sweeter than the chocolate one I bought myself last time. It's my favorite flavor. Thank you. I know this letter might come across as sentimental, but I really want you to know these things. Allow me to be a bit selfish this time. I just don't want to disappear from your life without explanation. There are some things I genuinely want to tell you. Regarding the secret I promised to reveal, here it is. I'm sick, suffering from depression, and it seems quite severe. The doctor recommended electroconvulsive therapy without anesthesia, which sounds painful. I'm afraid of pain, so I decided not to undergo treatment. I also feel like I owe you an explanation about that day. I didn't mean to trouble you or take you to the hospital. I truly didn't expect it to cause you so much inconvenience. I'm sorry. I've been a burden to you, and I've been putting you in difficult situations, but I won't do that anymore. I've set a 100-day limit for myself. For me, these 100 days are quite challenging, but it's okay. Even if it's just as compensation. I can't let you get involved in any more public scandals because of me. You don't have to bear any psychological burden for this. After all, I've caused you a lot of trouble. Most importantly, I accepted money from Jerry. I believe his money was earned by exploiting you. He's such a greedy capitalist. I must help you get some of it back. When I received the money, I didn't even blink. You know, that feeling of suddenly becoming wealthy isn't bad at all. Oh, Luna, you looked so stunning at the concert that day. The way you stood on the stage, shining brightly, made you the most unique and dazzling presence in the world. Even now, you are still a star to me. But I lied to you last time about stars. It doesn't matter if they shine or not. I'm sincerely answering your question again. Luna, stars are my romantic escape when I'm in the dark. So, that message I sent you that day was genuine. Luna, please, make your future shine brightly. Is there anything else I want to say? Well, take good care of yourself, eat well, and sleep well. Don't think about me. And don't worry about losing fans. If you meet someone you like, have a wonderful romance. If I see you happy, I'll be really glad. That's my final wish. I really want you to have a good life, but it seems I always end up causing you trouble. Okay, I'll stop here. Jerry keeps urging me. He's really annoying. I curse his beer belly for expanding even more. Oh, and most importantly, eat well. Tom.